everybody. Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Let me know in the chat where you guys are tuning in from. I'm over in sunny Arizona. So let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Let me know in the chat, and we're going to get started here in just a second. Seattle. I was just in Seattle this past weekend. I was there for a wedding. I love Seattle. It was so beautiful. Much nicer weather than what I'm stuck in right now. It's already almost 100 degrees in Arizona. I'm not into it. All right, 5:01. So I don't want to spend too much time. I want to get you guys in and out of here so that we can learn how to meal prep for a bloat-free summer. So thank you guys all for joining me. We are so excited to be, this entire month, we're going to be kicking off a bloat-free summer series. So all month, we're going to be giving free trainings all about how you can have your own bloat-free summer. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jillian. I know on here it says Bridget, but my name is Jillian. I am the lead dietitian over here at the Gut Fix and at Gut Personal. And then if some of you know Bridget, she is the owner and CEO of the Gut Fix and Gut Personal. So we are going to be putting on this bloat-free summer series for you guys all month long. We're so excited. And today we're starting off with meal planning for a bloat-free summer. And we're going to be talking about this meal guide that we've been kind of hinting at on Instagram. Has not launched yet. So you guys are kind of the first to know, but we're going to kind of talk a little bit more about that and how it can really help you guys in figuring out just the nutrition and the eating plan that fits really well for your body and just feels really good. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. And I love to keep these super interactive. So if you guys ever have questions that just come up, throw them into the chat. I'm really here to help you guys out, answer any questions that you may have. So if questions come up as we're talking, drop them into the chat and we'll chat through it. So like I was saying, this is our first part of our live training series for the bloat-free summer, and it's going to be going on all month. And I'll kind of give you guys some of the dates and such in a bit here, but we're starting off, kicking off the series tonight with meal planning for a bloat-free summer. So in this training, guys, we're going to be talking all things nutrition. And I have had so many clients who come to me who struggle with a lot of bloat and uncomfortable symptoms. For those of you who don't know, I see clients privately in one-on-one coaching for gut health. I also run a group program. It's all centered around gut health. So I am no stranger to, bloating and just uncomfortable digestive issues. I've had my own fair share of gut issues, so I totally get it. And I know that the nutrition piece can feel really overwhelming. There's just so much conflicting information out there. So that's why we're doing this training today. We're going to be talking about, oh, 1 second, letting someone else in. Okay. So we're going to be talking about how to find the eating plan that you, number one, love, and number two, actually makes you feel good, because both those things are really important when it comes to nutrition. We're also going to be talking about how to get rid of bloat through the foods that you choose, because those foods that you're choosing have a huge role in whether you're going to be feeling bloated or not. We're going to be talking about how to snack, because yes, there is a right and a wrong way to snack. We're going to talk all about that. We're also going to be talking about smart sweets, because hello, I love desserts and sweets as much as the next gal, but sometimes it can really make bloating worse. It can make you just feel really icky. So we're going to be talking about how to do it in a supportive way, because there is such thing as a supportive sweet. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So this is our bloat-free summer series. Like I was saying in the beginning, we're doing a full month of these bloat-free summer trainings. They are all free for you guys, just our way to kind of connect with you guys. We hear you. We know that bloating is a huge issue and no one wants to be bloated during the summertime. So this is kind of our way to help give the education and the support to you guys to help you have a bloat-free summer. So of course, we're kicking it off tonight with meal planning for a bloat-free summer. And then on Thursday, we're going to be doing a bloat-free summer nutrition tips and tricks, as well as a Q&A. So of course, if you guys have questions that come up tonight, totally happy to answer them. Just let me know what they are. And then on Thursday, we're going to be having a formal Q&A where you guys can really bring me all your juicy gut health, nutrition questions. You know, those things where you're like, okay, I heard this, but is this really true? Or I heard this on Instagram. Is this real or is it fake? That sort of thing. So you guys can bring me all of your questions to that. On the 17th, we're going to be talking about supplements for a bloat-free summer. And then we're also going to be at the end of the month closing it up with our favorite supplement called magnesium. Everybody always asks us about magnesium and kind of how it can help support the gut. So we're going to be finishing out the month talking all about it. So this is kind of the schedule. Put these down in your calendar. They're all totally free. You're all invited. So I hope to see you guys at our bloat-free summer series. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this meal guide that I had been kind of hinting out on Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I've been talking about how we're going to be coming out with a meal guide to help you fix your gut issues. And we got an overwhelming response of people just so jazzed up about this. And it truly has been something that people have been asking us about for a really long time. So as a gut health registered dietitian, I get asked all the time, what do I even eat for bloat? Because, right, it can feel really, really confusing. You have one thing one day, you're feeling amazing. You eat it the next day and you blow up like a balloon. And you're just like, what gives? It can feel really overwhelming sometimes to kind of find those patterns, and it can just feel stressful. So this is a question I get a lot. And the truth is, when we're fixing our gut, we can't forget about the basics. So with my clients, who I both see privately and as well as in our group program, we do a lot of testing to figure out the root cause to what's causing your gut issues. But we also work a lot on the basics like nutrition, like your lifestyle, like your stress and your sleep. The testing and the supplements, they're a great time, but we can't forget about the basics, nutrition being a huge one. So I found that I was always working on the same nutrition changes with almost all of my clients. I really was seeing an obvious gap of where people were kind of lacking in their nutrition, and then the support I was providing, there was a huge pattern there that I was seeing across so many clients. So I really got to thinking, how can I gather all of this information that is needed by so many people and get it into the hands of more people? Because of course I can't, you know, my client load, I keep pretty intimate, but I want to be able to support more of you in a way that I see the need is out there. So that's how our 21-day meal guide was born. You guys are literally the first ones to hear about it. We're going to be kind of talking more about it throughout this training today, because of course it's meal planning, and it's all centered around meals that are bloat-free. And even more than that, we're all about empowering you guys over here and empowering you to do it on your own. So we didn't call it a 21-day meal plan for a reason. It's truly a guide because we're teaching you how to do it yourself, because it really is more simple than you may think to plan bloat-free meals that feel really good in your body. All right, I got a little chat here. Just gonna check in on it. If you aren't able to make it live, will we be able to watch these sessions later? Yes, and of course. So great question. All of our trainings as part of the Bloat-Free Summer series will be recorded. You just have to make sure that you sign up for them like you guys did for this one beforehand so that you can get the recording. And I believe, I'll double check with our team, but I believe since all of you guys are already signed up for this training, you're going to already automatically receive the future training recording. So you should be all good. But great question. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about this meal planning for a bloat-free summer, kind of how this works with our meal guide. So you guys spoke, we listened. We know this is a huge need out there, and finding the nutrition plan that is healthy for your gut. So we created this meal guide. It's completely gluten-free and dairy-free, which is really great. And you guys will see, like I was saying, that bloat-free eating really is simple for you to do all on your own. You really can do it all on your own. And if you're feeling lost and you don't really know where to get started, this is the tool to help guide you guys. Okay, so let's start talking a little bit more about the nutrition. So when I was kind of putting together this training, I was really asking, okay, what do you need to know to have a bloat-free summer? So some of the things that you guys need to know to have a bloat-free summer are, number one, the foods that you love, but that you also do well with. So the foods that you tolerate well, the foods that make you feel really good. But of course, you also have to love them. I think of it like one of those, I think it's called a Venn diagram, from like elementary school, when you'd have like the two big circles, and like one circle is like the foods you love, and then the other circle is the foods you do really well with. And then you combine them and you have the little space in the center. That's your nutrition eating plan that I want all of you guys to aim for. The foods you love, but the foods you feel really good with. That's what we help guide you guys through with this 21-day meal guide. And we're also going to talk about it today. So you also need to know how to create a balanced plate. Really, really big one. We're going to talk about what a balanced plate is here in a second. You need to know how to snack smart. Like I said in the beginning, there is a right and a wrong way to snack. So we're going to talk about that today. You need to know how your food choices are affecting your bloating. You need to know how to support your gut through the meals that you're eating. Super important, right? It really is true. You are what you eat. So what you're eating really is going to be building your gut. So we have to know how to support your gut health through what you're eating. And then you need to know the nourishing treats that fuel your gut and your sweet tooth. We'll be talking about that. And if all of this is kind of feeling like, okay, yeah, this all sounds great, but like, now what? How do I actually do this? And the answer is the meal guide. This is truly the tool that's going to help guide you guys through it. And we're going to be talking through it as well in our training today. So let me guys know if you have any questions. I know we kind of have had people kind of popping in. So if you just popped in, if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. We're just getting started. Okay, so let's start diving into some of the juicy stuff. So how are your food choices really affecting bloating? The types of food that you're putting on your plate are really going to determine whether you experience a lot of bloat or if you're feeling really good in your body and you're nourishing your gut. So types of food matters. That's kind of the first message I really want you guys to run home with. Intentional meals equal less snacking equals less bloating. So what I mean by intentional meals are putting some thought into your meals. I totally get it. So many of us are having more of those random meals without any thought, right? You're running out the door to work. You're trying to get your kids off to school. Maybe you're just eating the sandwich crust that your child left on their plate. And those, kind of random meals can really lead to more bloating. So when we're eating just random meals, then we're not really eating meals that are going to be satisfying us. They're not giving us the nutrients we need to have sustained energy over the day or to get us to our next meal. So when you don't have that sustained energy, your body's going to be like, okay, I need more energy. I need more energy. So that's kind of where you start snacking a lot, right? That's really where that grazing comes in, where you're just kind of snacking little things all day long because you're always just kind of feeling hungry. You're never feeling fully satisfied. And then when you're snacking all day long like that, that is one of the biggest causes to bloat that I see. Put a little note in here. I see this one a lot. This is probably the number one thing that I see causing a lot of bloat for my clients is not really eating meals, just eating a lot of little snacks here and there throughout the day. And we could have an entire training on this alone. There's a lot of different things that happen in the body when we're snacking all day, not giving our body a time to rest and digest that causes bloating. We don't have time to get into all that science today, but just know that by you snacking all day long on not real meals, that is really going to be exacerbating your bloating. So when we're talking about intentional meals, being intentional, thinking about your meals, actually having some thought of when you're building a plate, we want to have 4 components on the plate. The 4 components are protein, carb, fat, and color. So those are the 4 components. In the meal guide, we really walk you through how to do this. And if you're kind of like, okay, Jillian, I don't even know what you mean by color, or I don't even know what you mean when you say like carbohydrate. Like, I think I kind of know what carbs are, but like, I don't really know. The meal guide walks you through all of this with examples, pictures, all the good things. So don't worry, but you want to have 4 of those components on every single one of your meals. And the reason for this is the combination of those 4 nutrients are what keep you full and satisfied, and they increase your energy throughout the day. So you're not needing to snack all day long. Those are the 4 components that you really, really want. And you'll see in the meal guide that you can do this all yourself. I know that it might seem like a little confusing if you're not super familiar with this kind of stuff. So that's where the meal guide comes in, because we have pages of resources on the different food components that I just talked about with portion sizes. That's another question I get a lot. Like, okay, but like how many grams of carbs do I really need? Like how many carbs do I really need? How much fat do I really need? So we have all that spelled out for you in the meal guide with tons of examples. I am one who I learn by examples. Like if you show me a picture of something or you show me an example, I can totally replicate and get it done. So I'm big into examples. So I gave you guys tons of examples of the different food components in here. I also included pictures of my very own bloat-free plates. So the plates that make you feel really good and also keep you energized throughout the day and reduce bloating. And then I also included a guide for finding the foods that you do well with. So remember that little Venn diagram I was talking about, and you need to have that section of finding foods that you do really well with. We walk you through how to find those in the guide so that you can take the different components, the different foods in each component that you do well with and create a meal out of it. So that's kind of how it works. But we also included a meal plan for you guys. Everybody loves a good meal plan. I do too. It's just nice to kind of have some ideas sometimes. So like I was saying, it is more than a meal plan because we give you guys so much guidance on like resources of how to actually do it yourself. But we also included 21 days of eating to just get you started, set you up with some fresh, new, delicious ideas. All of these recipes are crafted by a registered dietitian, me, and they really do help to reduce your bloat, nourish your gut, give you energy. It's hitting all the bases of the big macronutrients, those the nutrition that you need to be healthy and well. All of these meals cover it. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We give it to you guys all in this meal plan. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about snacking. So I was kind of talking about it a bit ago, and the truth is there is a right and a wrong way to snack. So take a minute and just kind of think about like the typical snacks that we have over here in the US. It's things like chips, potato chips, crackers, maybe a granola bar, handful of cereal. The thing is, these typical snacks that are very, very common in the US diet, they're energy zappers. So they're really going to zap your energy and they'll leave you to be hungry again very shortly after, which will then lead to more snacking. So you kind of get into this vicious cycle. So that's kind of the wrong way to snack. If you kind of look at some of those are foods that really are going to give you energy like quick, but then it's going to make you drop within a few minutes. And then it leads to you being hungry again. They're not satisfying snacks. So the right way to snack is if you are somebody who's like, okay, but Jillian, I don't like to eat big meals. I really just prefer to have smaller snacks. Totally fine. But there is a right way to do it. So when you're thinking about building a snack, what you want to focus on is a combination of three things: protein, healthy fats, and fiber. So you want those three things with every single snack that you're having. I called it a snack guide for like the basis of everyone kind of knowing what it is, but I really refer to snacks as mini meals. I call snacks mini meals because that's really what they should be. They should be a combination of those three nutrients, and it should be more of like a small meal versus just, a handful of cereal. In turn, this will keep you fuller longer, you'll be more satisfied, and you'll have steady energy. So you're gonna feel a lot better. You're gonna show up a lot better. You're gonna go through your day just feeling better because you're supporting your body with the nutrition that you need. So this is a little preview of kind of how to do snacking right. And then in our meal guide, we have an entire smart snack guide. So you guys can kind of see in this little screenshot here, I give you guys tons of examples of some smarter snacks so that you can kind of supplement these in with the meals and still feel really good and know that you're supporting your gut and reducing bloat. All right, where are my chocolate lovers at? Let's start talking about the sweets. This was a big one that when I was kind of talking about on Instagram, that we have a smart sweets guide, people were like, oh yes, I want to have my cake and eat it too, right? You want to have those sweet, delicious treats, but you want to do it in a way that you're still going to feel good and not feel like a sack of potatoes afterwards and just not feel very good, right? So what you need to know about sweets and treats is they are okay. Desserts in moderation are 100% okay, but being intentional about them and really kind of like putting a little bit of thought to maybe make a quote unquote healthier sweet choice makes all the difference. When we're talking about bloat, it really does make all the difference. Here's the thing, a lot of added sugars are going to feed the bad bacteria in our gut. And when we feed that bad bacteria, they let off a lot of these gases, which make you bloated. So that's why a lot of times if you're feeling like you're eating pretty healthy, you might be feeling a little bit better, your energy might be better if you're not eating a ton of sugars, but then you can kind of get into a vicious cycle of having a lot of sugar cravings. So in this guide, I really wanted to provide you guys with a resource for smart sweets so that you can still satisfy that sweet tooth, but you can still feel really good about it. This is another little screenshot that I took from our meal guide, because in this meal guide, we've included gut health hacks throughout the whole thing. There's probably like, I don't know, over 60 of these gut health hacks, and we just kind of sprinkled them in throughout the meal guide. So here is a screenshot of one of them. Cacao chocolate is a rich source of polyphenols that help to increase the good gut bacteria. So next time you're like craving a little bit of chocolate, know that choosing a good source of cacao is actually gut healthy. So talking about the smart sweets, this is the screenshot from our meal guide. So this smart sweets guide is included within our meal guide. I recommend choosing options that are lower in added sugar. Just for what I was saying earlier, a lot of added sugar. Number one, it's not good for our overall health. I think we all kind of know that. But number two, it's really not good when we're talking about bloating, because it's going to feed that bad bacteria, causing a crap ton of bloat. So we want to choose options that are lower in sugar. If you don't really know how to do that, no worries, because I give you guys tons of, number one, recipes, also brand recommendations inside of the smart sweet. So it kind of takes the thinking out of it. So when we're thinking about, okay, I want a sweet treat, how can I do it in a supportive way? Again, I want you guys to think about those three components I was talking about when we were talking about snacking: protein, healthy fats, and fiber. If you guys can choose some sweets that are lower in added sugar and higher in protein, healthy fats, and fiber, you're gonna be feeling so much better. It's not going to send you into an energy spike and crash, leaving you feel like blah on the couch later, and it's going to help reduce bloat. So what are some ways that we can kind of add in some of these things to some sweets? Things like protein powder. I love adding protein powder to like cookies or even brownies, nuts and seeds. This is an easier one, right? Smearing on some almond butter, some peanut butter onto a dessert, or having a handful of walnuts is typically a really easy way to pair in some of those healthy fats with your smart sweet. And then fruit. Fruit is a great source of fiber, and that will actually help to steady out your energy levels if you include some of it with your smart sweets. So things like strawberries, bananas, raspberries, those can be really nice fruit to pair with your sweets. So sometimes we just want to satisfy our sweet tooth and still feel really good in our bodies. And can I get an amen, right? Isn't that what we all want? So in the Smart Sweets guide, I'm giving you guys my favorite treats so you can feel really good about putting them into your body. So this is just some of the recipes that I've included for you guys in the Smart Sweets guide. Protein cookie dough, single serve chocolate cake. I love this one because I live alone, and so I don't want to make a giant cake, but sometimes I just want a little single serve chocolate cake in a mug to satisfy my sweet tooth. So I've included my favorite recipe for that. Chocolate nutty dates. And then I've also included my favorite brand recommendations, because I don't know about you guys, I'm a chocolate lover. And so one of my favorite things to do is just to keep some of my favorite chocolate in the freezer and snack on that when I need to satisfy my sweet tooth. But there's a lot of chocolate brands out there that are not so great. And I know it can kind of feel confusing if you're like, I don't even know which ones to choose. So I gave you guys an entire list of the brands that I know, love, and I totally recommend to all of my clients, and I recommend to you. So you'll find all of those in the Smart Sweets guide. So talking about finding your eating plan that works well for you, the foods that you love and do well with, they make you feel really good in your body. Remember that Venn diagram? That's what we want to do. We want to be sure that we're having fun with our meals at the same time. Being a dietitian, I see this a lot. People they get really worked up about nutrition. And sometimes people think it's a super rigid thing, or that it's very black and white. It has to be done this way. And I totally get it. It's really, really difficult with diet culture out there, everybody on, social media and Instagram, or you have an opinionated neighbor who likes to tell you what the right way to eat is. I totally get that it can be really confusing, which is why we made this meal guide. But if you guys walk away from anything, I want you to know that nutrition is very flexible, and it's meant to be flexible so that we can find those foods that you love and that you do well with, so you can enjoy your nutrition, feeling really good in your body and being bloat free. So when you guys use this guide, I really want to encourage you guys to kind of give yourself some of that leniency and flexibility. Using this guide to help build meals that are gut healthy and nutrient rich and bloat free, which is what we're all after, but then having the freedom to make them your own and to put the spin on it to make them into meals that you really, really love and enjoy, because that's truly, I believe food is meant to be enjoyed. I'm a huge foodie. I love it. And I truly believe that it's meant to be enjoyed. And I know it can be frustrating if you have a lot of gut issues, because sometimes food is like your arch nemesis, but just know it doesn't have to be that way. And there are foods that aren't going to make you bloat up. So I'm going to show you guys a quick example of kind of what I mean by finding your eating plan that works really well for you. So I'm going to take an example from our meal guide. This is week 1, day 1 breakfast. So the first one I have on here is a low sugar smoothie. I put a little note in here, a little tip for you guys who are joining me here, to be mindful of sugar in the morning. So if you think about typical breakfasts in the US, sometimes they're very sugar heavy and they're lacking some of those other nutrients that we talked about in the beginning. They're, like pancakes or waffles or muffins, nothing wrong with those. But when we're only having those sugary foods first thing in the morning, it can really lead to a lot of sugar or energy crashes later on in the day, leading to a lot of snacking, kind of gets us like into a cascade. So I always recommend to my clients, I'm going to recommend to you guys here, when you're thinking about breakfast, we want to be mindful of sugar. So I help you guys out with this through the meal guide. One of way is through this low sugar smoothie recipe that I have for you guys. So this is the low sugar smoothie. And I'm going to kind of show you guys how you can customize it, how you can be flexible with your nutrition. So for example, I have in here a half a cup of frozen cauliflower rice, but you might be sitting there like, okay, Jillian, I know for one, I don't do well with cauliflower. Cauliflower does not agree with me very well. Totally fine. Everybody's different. So what is a veggie that you know that you do really well with, right? So if cauliflower doesn't do too great for you, what's a vegetable that does do really great for you? A great swap I would recommend here is zucchini. Zucchini is a vegetable that doesn't cause a lot of bloat for most people. It's kind of a low issue vegetable. So you could do like chop up a zucchini, quickly steam it if you want or not, throw it into the freezer, and then add that into the smoothie instead of the cauliflower. So that's just one example. Or you can leave the cauliflower out or put in any other vegetable that you know you enjoy and just substitute it right in. Let's do another one. Let's say hemp seeds. So I have 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds in here. Hemp seeds are one of my favorite seeds. They're very rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are super important and many people are deficient. So little hack for you guys, hemp seeds are great. But let's say you don't have any hemp seeds on hand. Not a big deal. Either just leave it out, not a big deal, or think about what's another healthy fat that you can include. So you guys will learn in the meal guide that hemp seeds are they're a healthy fat. They fall into that component of healthy fats. So what's another healthy fat that you can include? In the meal guide, I have an entire list of healthy fat examples. So you can just flip back to that list, find another healthy fat food, and put that one in there instead. Easy peasy. And let's do one more. So what if you're allergic to or you don't like nuts? Nut allergies are super common. Or maybe you're making this for your child and he or she has a nut allergy. So in here, I do have some almond milk and some peanut butter. So what do you do if you're allergic or you just don't like these things? Well, you could either use coconut milk. So instead of almond milk, do coconut milk, or you could just use water. I also really like to do like coconut water, adds a little bit more of sweetness in there, get some electrolytes. And then you could just leave the peanut butter out. No big deal. Leave the peanut butter out, swap out the almond butter, bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go. So this is kind of how I would encourage you guys to approach anytime you're making a recipe. It's so flexible, and we really teach you how to do it in a way that feels good for you in the meal guide. So you'll see that gut healthy eating, it really is simple for you to do all on your own. We just showed you, that example. It really is simple. You just need a little bit of a guide to kind of walk you through it, kind of give you that starting point. So this is some more of the yummy recipes that we've included for you guys. In addition to that low sugar smoothie, we have some protein pancakes. We have some liver loving summer salads. Everyone needs to love their liver, especially as we're going into summertime. You might be having a few cocktails by the pool. We want to be sure we're supporting the liver. Burger bowls, Fiesta zucchini boats, gut fuel probiotic bowls. That one is one of my favorites. Really giving you lots of good food sources of probiotics, which we know are really good for your gut. So those are just some of the food that we have for you guys. This is a screenshot of the meal plan. You can see week 1, we give you guys breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then you have the snack guide if you ever want to add in a little bit of something extra if you're feeling hungrier that day. So kind of all in summary, the big things I want you guys to focus on when you're thinking about planning meals for having a bloat-free summer is more balanced meals, less random plates. Biggest one I recommend for you guys, more meals, less random little pickies throughout the day. Less mindless snacking, more intentional snacks. So remember, less of the just grabbing a quick handful of cereal as you're running out the door, more intentional of including those 3 components: protein, healthy fat, and fiber. And then less desserts that make you feel really crappy, more of those smart sweets to feel really good and satisfied. Because when you think about those smart sweets, remember we are including those 3 components again, you're getting so much more bang for your buck. You're satisfying your sweet tooth, but you're also getting those healthy fats, that protein, the fiber for your gut. All of that's really important. So you guys can use the Smart Sweets guide to kind of help walk you through that. And then in the biggest one to kind of wrap it all up is being prepared. I mean, I know this is kind of one that a lot of people say being prepared is like the key to success. And it really is, but I know it can kind of feel lofty sometimes. But I can totally relate where if I don't really have a lot of groceries in the house, or if I didn't really plan what I wanted for lunch, all of a sudden I'm getting to lunch and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm starving. I'm just going to grab the first thing that I see. And that can really lead to more bloating, get you more into just not feeling good. I think we can all kind of relate to that. So being prepared is really, really key. And this meal guide is the way to be prepared because you get 21 days of done for you meal plan so that you don't even have to think about it. It takes all the thinking out of it. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions. I'm going to take a quick pause because I feel like I was just rapid firing information at you guys. Let me know if you have any questions on any of this, any of the meal planning, kind of how this can really support your gut, reduce bloat. Any thoughts came up, let me know in the chat. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. No questions. All right. So in conclusion, guys, this meal guide, you guys are literally the first ones to know about it. So it is normally $79, but for you guys only, literally only you guys who are in this call with me right now will get the exclusive sale for only $39. And that is going to go back up to $79. So I encourage you guys, if you're interested, grab it while you can for literally under $40. You can get all of that. And it really is exclusive for you guys only. Like if you've seen me on Instagram, I haven't even been like, oh, here's the link to our meal guide because it's not even launched for anybody except you guys. Tina asked, meal planning for one. Such a great question. So yes, all of these meals are built out for one person so that you can easily double it or triple it depending on how many people are in your family. But I know a lot of people, if you live alone, it can be like, oh, I don't want to cook a massive dinner if it's just for me. So we really catered it to be for one person, and then you can double, triple, quadruple for however many people you have in your family that you're cooking for. How long will that discount be available? So this discount will only be available until Saturday, which I actually think it might even be until Thursday where our next training is, but I'm pretty sure Saturday. And then it does go back up to $79. Oh, I'll give you guys the link. I just realized I didn't even give you guys the link. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, but keep the questions coming in. If you guys have questions, or even just like bloat-free summer questions, let me know. If you guys enjoyed, if you learned something new, let me know. Okay, so there's the link. Go ahead and grab that because this is the only time that I'm announcing it. You can't get this link anywhere else. So go ahead and grab it. Even if you don't want to purchase it right now, not a big deal, but like save it to your phone, save it to your computer so that you have it because this is the only place you can get it. Are the ingredients realistic? Yes, 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 yes. So my whole approach to good health is really a focus on whole foods. And when I say whole foods, I just mean foods from the ground. I truly believe that is the cornerstone of good, healthy nutrition for humans. So all of the ingredients are whole foods based. So it's stuff that you can easily find in your grocery store: sweet potatoes, spinach, chicken, some salmon. And then of course, if you're vegetarian, it's all of the protein sources. I give you vegetarian options as well. So if you're not a meat eater, no big deal. We'd be sure to cover those 4 components for you in every meal, whether you're gluten-free, dairy-free, vegetarian, no matter what, you're still going to be hitting those 4 components. And yes, very really realistic, simple ingredients. What about sparkling water and bloating? Oh, Darla, that's a great question. I love that question. So sparkling water, really any carbonated drink can increase bloating. And maybe you've noticed that before, that if you drink a lot of carbonation, you feel more bloated. And it's just because carbonated beverages have gas in them. And so if you're already having issues with gas and then you drink a carbonated beverage, that's just going to add to the gas and add to distension. So yes, sparkling water, any carbonated beverage can definitely make bloating worse, but it's a personalized thing. If you feel really okay when you do carbonated drinks, go for it. But if you feel really bloated, maybe trying to cut back on carbonated beverages, especially if you're somebody who does like a sparkling water every day and you struggle with a lot of bloat, maybe try cutting it back and just seeing how you feel. Give it a good, 5 to 7 days and see if it helps at all. Or just decrease portion sizes. Portion sizes of really anything have a lot to do with bloating. So maybe doing like half of a can of a sparkling water to see if that helps. But that's such a great question. Any other questions? You guys excited about the meal guide? This is something that it's been in the works for a while because people have been asking for a really, really long time. And so I'm so excited to be able to now provide this as a resource. And I'm just grateful for all of you guys joining me here and that you guys can really be the first of everyone to hear about it. Let's see, I got another question. Is the meal guide good for other digestive problems other than bloat? Yes, 100%. So I'm a gut health gal, gut health dietitian. And so all of these meals are really, they're centered around increasing your gut health and increasing your good gut bacteria, which will then decrease gut infections. It'll increase your immunity. All of the things that we think about when we're talking about gut health is covered in this meal guide. Because the thing is bloating is such a common issue, and bloating can really be coming from so many different things within your gut. That's why in my practice, I really preach personalization, because what's causing your bloat can be totally different than what's causing your friend's bloat. So given that, when we're talking about gut issues, bloating is a very common thing. So in order to get rid of the bloating, we got to get rid of the gut issues. So that's really what this meal plan is doing. It can be really beneficial for anybody struggling with any sort of gut issues, whether it be bloating or bathroom issues, diarrhea, constipation, stomach pain, any of that, this will be helpful. And it's just helpful for your overall health, because like I was saying earlier, when I was talking about the ingredients, it's all whole foods based. It's foods that are coming from the ground, but they're simple, fiber rich, that are really beneficial for not only your gut, but your overall health. Where does the guide come from? You. Yes. So I created this guide along with Bridget, who's the owner of the company, and we came up with all of these recipes for you guys. We created the guides for, creating a balanced meal, the snack guides, all of that. So yeah, if you click that link that I put into the chat here, it will take you to a page to purchase the meal plan. I do want to let you guys know that it's kind of confusing. Once you put in your email, your credit card, then you purchase it, it'll prompt you to create an account with Kajabi, which is like it's just the system that we use to then send you the meal guide. So all you'll have to do is just put in your first, last name, and then a quick password. You'll never have to log into there ever again, but just create that. Once you create that, it'll send the meal guide to your email. So then you'll have a digital copy. You can download it, have it for life. You can print it out, whatever you want to do with it. And then there's tons of links. I don't even think I mentioned this. I did a little bit in the Smart Suites, but I give you guys a lot of product and brand recommendations. That's another one that, I get asked a lot about, like, what kind of tortillas do you recommend? What kind of gluten-free bread? What kind of marinara sauce do you recommend? Because there's so many out there, and ingredients really, really matter when we're talking about products and gut health, especially bloating. On Thursday's training, we're going to be talking about what ingredients to look out for that really exacerbate bloating. But in the meal guide, I give you guys tons of recommendations to the different foods that I recommend. So the brands that are great ingredients, that are tried, true, trusted, they're real ingredients. They're not a bunch of chemicals and additives that can really lead to bloat. So you guys will also get that. You get all of my brand and product recommendations in there. So I think, for example, there's like a veggie wrap in there. And so I give you the brand of the wraps that I recommend. And it's all, you can find it in any grocery store. They're not like fancy, expensive foods at all. Any other questions you guys have? Well, as you guys are thinking of any other questions, just a reminder that on Thursday will be our second little training in this bloat-free summer series that we're doing all month long. And Thursday's training will be on 3 nutrition tips to get rid of your bloat. I'm giving you guys my top 3 and also a Q&A. So I know we're kind of doing a Q&A here, but if you think of more questions later on this week, bring them to Thursday, and we'll set aside a lot of time to do this again so you guys can get any of your questions answered. And again, there's the link to the meal guide. We haven't launched it anywhere else, so you guys are truly the first ones. That's why we're giving it to you guys for literally $39, and then it goes back up to $79 when we officially launch it. So get in while it's cheap, exclusive pricing for you guys. And if you guys have any other questions, bring them on Thursday. And I hope to see you guys all on Thursday. We'll be on Zoom again, so we'll send you guys the Zoom link just like we did for this. And I think that's about it. And if you guys don't have any questions, I won't keep ya. We will be sending out this recording tomorrow morning. So if you ever want to go back and watch it, it'll be in your inbox tomorrow morning. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you all on Thursday. Bye, guys.